Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a good week. Last week we talked about Saul and his life before he became a Christian and what he did, and this week we're going to talk about his life or his conversion. Um, it's kind of hard for me to understand why God handpicked this horrible person to help him convert people from Judaism to Christianity. But when you take a step back and you look at Saul's life, he had no clue what he was doing was against God's will. He thought he was doing exactly what God wanted. And he worked really hard and really cared about his job. And he was really smart and educated, so he was able to teach the Jews and the Greeks in a way that they would understand. So Saul was a really good pick to help spread Christianity. I'm going to read Acts chapter 9, verses 10 through 12. Now there was a disciple at Damascus named Ananias. The Lord said to him in a vision, Ananias, and he said, Here am I, Lord. And the Lord said to him, Rise and go to the street called Straight, and at the house of Judas look for a man of Tarsus named Saul, for behold, he is praying. And he has seen in a vision a man named Ananias come in and lay his hands on him so that he might regain his sight. So we know that Ananias was a Jewish Christian and that he lived in Damascus. And in a few more verses we're going to figure out that he helped convert Paul to Christianity. If it wasn't for Ananias, this ordinary man, converting Saul to Christianity, and then Saul may not have traveled anywhere, and he may not have taught all the people that he did, and he may not have began all these churches that he did. And this one man, Ananias, converted this other man who went to all of these places and converted all these other people. So we've got to be willing to put ourselves out there and to share the gospel, because the next person that you convert or teach the gospel may be the next Paul. I'm going to read verses 13 through 16. But Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard from many about this man, how much evil he has done to your saints at Jerusalem. And here he has authority from the chief priest to bind all who call on your name. But the Lord said to him, Go, for he is a chosen instrument of mine to carry my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how much he must suffer for the sake of my name. So Ananias was scared of Saul because he had heard about all the horrible things that Saul had done to Christians. It would be like if one of us had to go into a room and convert the leader of ISIS. It'd be a really terrifying thing. But we can totally see where he's coming from, and everything he knew about Saul was based on things that he had heard from other people. And I'm just as guilty of it as anybody. It's really easy to make judgments about people based on what other people tell us or say about them. And then after we meet them, that's not who they are at all. Ananias had to be really brave to talk to this dude that he had heard so much bad stuff about. When God replied to Ananias, he said that Paul was a chosen vessel of mine to bear my name before Gentiles, kings, the children of Israel. Paul spoke Greek and Hebrew fluently, and he was born in Tarsus, which was a Gentile city, but he grew up in Jerusalem, which was a Jewish city. And he had Roman citizenship too. During this time, it was really hard to get Roman citizenship. It wasn't like today where we're born in America, so we automatically have American citizenship. But Paul was educated by Gamaliel, who was a brilliant Jew, and the Jewish people respected Paul just because he was taught by Gamaliel. And Paul probably already had a lot of the Hebrew Bible committed to memory. So all of these ties and connections are probably part of the reason that God chose Paul. He was able to spread the gospel to a lot of people. Like it says in verse 16, For I will show him how much he must suffer for the sake of my name. I'm going to read 2 Corinthians 11:23 through 28. Are they servants of Christ? I am a better one. I am talking like a madman, with far greater labors, far more imprisonments, with countless beatings, and often near death. 5 times I received at the hands of the Jews the 40 lashes, less one. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. A night and a day I was adrift at sea. On frequent journeys, in danger from rivers, danger from robbers, danger from my own people, danger from Gentiles, danger in the city, danger in the wilderness, danger at sea, danger from false brothers, in toil and hardship, through many a sleepless night, in hunger and thirst, often without food, in cold and exposure. And apart from other things, there is the daily pressure on me of my anxiety for all the churches. So, Paul suffered a lot more after he was converted than he did